smartest monkey in the world. It's Punch. And tomorrow, the interview everyone will be talking about.
Punch has a girlfriend?
We're in Japan with Punch, first on Good Morning America.
So, Anna is on our Behind the Table podcast today. We want you to have a great day. Everyone take a little time to enjoy the view. And, don't let this craziness get you down. We're in it together. We'll get out of it together. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
Legislation has passed that aims to foster a system of accountability when tracking Maine's sexual assault forensic examination kits. Good afternoon, I'm Susan Farley. Warming shelters that have been open all winter have closed, and that now means that those that are using them need to figure out where to go. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Thursday afternoon. Some fog continues to remain a thing further off towards the north, but that will be getting out of here through the afternoon period, especially in the early period. But overall, we've had some rain tracking from the west going toward the east. We're going to be getting that out of here, but we have more activity that will be on the way. Let's zoom things out, and there's that rain further off towards the west. We'll have some more rain showers, even some thunderstorms possible overnight as this tracks from the west and moves in our direction. So here's Futurecast. Overall clouds this afternoon. Fog slow to lift. More showers and thunderstorms this evening. As we head towards your Friday, the clouds continue to linger at least for a little while yet. But as we do move forward in time, lower 60s, mostly cloudy, intermittent rain showers, and that south wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. Overnight thunderstorms likely with lows in the mid 40s. Areas of dense fog too, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. And then we move ahead towards tomorrow, mid 60s under a partly cloudy sky, so the clouds break up with that north wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. The hourly forecast moving forward, we have clouds, maybe a rain shower here or there with temperatures overall in the 50s and 60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. The Maine legislature adjourned for their end of the late session Tuesday night after what some lawmakers say was a contentious session. Our Callie Warren was there and spoke with lawmakers about what was accomplished.
The 132nd Maine legislative session is coming to an end, making it one of the last times we're going to hear that bell until January. We spoke with legislators to see what their highs and lows were from this past session.
I'm really proud of all we've been able to accomplish this session. Not a great place to end the session, unfortunately.
Some lawmakers say one way to describe the freshly adjourned 132nd legislature is contentious.
What I don't like seeing right now, our tempers have flared and there's a lot of discord going on, and I really don't like that. We're divided. That has been what I've seen this session that has been a disappointment.
With many votes and issues falling along party lines and a lot of back and forth regarding spending and the supplemental budget, some say the session's biggest successes involve investments.
We are funding things that support the people of Maine. We are funding things like the eviction prevention program to keep people housed. We're funding development so that we have more affordable housing for everyone.
While for others, spending is one of their biggest stressors.
The most significant piece of legislation that we pass is always the budget. That was certainly true this session, a $500 million budget that is increasing taxes on Maine people, increasing spending.
Despite the array of disagreements, a look back at the budget shows major investments made, many involving bipartisan values.
So we're trying to take care of business, jobs, education, healthcare. We've gotten $596,000 for Penobscot County for the jail funding, which will help defray property taxes. Full funding for education, raising the teacher pay, money for childcare, more money for the hospitals in terms of reimbursement rates.
Legislators expect to be back to review the governor's vetoed bills, if there are any, at the end of the month. Afterwards, the bells won't ring and the gavels won't bang until January.
And when it's all over with and they say, we are journeying sine die, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's over with.
In Augusta, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Legislation has passed that aims to foster a system of accountability when tracking Maine's sexual assault forensic examination kits. Senate Assistant Majority Leader Jill Dewson secured funding for a comprehensive statewide system to track and test sexual assault forensic examination kits. According to Dewson, Maine stood alone as one of the last states to adopt a unified method for accounting for such kits. For decades, evidence collected from survivors has gone untested and stored without a clear system to ensure it would ever be processed.
That was an important missing link when folks decide to go forward and try and hold the perpetrator accountable. You need to build a trust in the community that, so for someone who is victimized, that they'll actually call into the system and someone will show up.
With funding secured in the state budget, eligible kits will be logged and eventually sent to the crime lab. Dewson emphasizes that survivors will be notified during the process and given a voice in whether the evidence processing proceeds. Dewson says the new system aims to close investigative gaps and rebuild trust, ensuring survivors know their cases will be handled with transparency and the possibility of justice. Gubernatorial candidate Jonathan Bush announced a tax plan with a focus on encouraging businesses to invest in the state. The Republican candidate explained details of his tax reform plan at the State House Wednesday. He said the plan is aimed at boosting economic growth and attracting businesses back to Maine. Bush argued that the state's current tax structure has discouraged businesses from investing in Maine, which has curbed GDP growth and created a burden for taxpayers.
The state doesn't directly control property taxes, but it does indirectly control them by inviting businesses back into our state. And one big, bold, simple move that is a shot heard round the economy that we are back open for business in Maine.
The plan calls for cutting $1 billion from income taxes, which Bush said would improve immediate relief to families while signaling a more business-friendly environment. He emphasized that lowering income and capital gains taxes would encourage businesses to relocate to Maine, ultimately easing the property tax burden on residents. On a related note, U.S. Senate candidate Graham Plattner announced his own tax reform plan, saying there needs to be a tax code that restores fairness and makes sure working people can get ahead. He unveiled his proposed End Billionaire Welfare Tax Reform Plan at a press conference in Portland yesterday. It calls for a national plan to lower local taxes, lower the cost of living tax cut for working and middle-class Americans, expanding the child care tax credit, and more.
We need a wealth tax on the ultra-rich. Reasonable proposals of just 5 to 6% on the wealth over $1 billion, which alone could raise over $4 trillion in revenue. Income taxes alone cannot address the massive concentration of wealth that has happened because of our existing tax code. Only a tax on that wealth can do so.
As we first told you Tuesday, yesterday marked the final night warming shelters in Bangor will be open, meaning that dozens of unhoused individuals who have relied on them for the past 5 months will have to find alternative arrangements. As our Alex Schley tells us, while city officials say they've been working to help find housing for those in need, many unhoused individuals will still wind up outside.
Despite efforts from Bangor city officials, after the overnight warming shelters close Wednesday, many people will be forced back onto the streets. Bangor's homeless response coordinator, Bruce Hughes, says both the city and local organizations have taken major steps to address the root causes of homelessness.
We're dealing with mental health, we're dealing with substance abuse, people that want to go into treatment, that can't go into treatment, people that want to go and, in support and get help but can't because of different reasons. They're not ready.
Hughes says while many of those efforts are making a difference, change does not happen overnight.
It's just a complex issue that, we help 10 people come back in.
Chase Rajga is one example. He and his family moved to the Bangor area in February and have been staying at the Brick Church ever since.
Without them around, it would have been probably a lot difficult to do anything with, actually. These guys provide enough resource every day for us to stay here and, get us, help find us places and stuff.
He says those resources have helped his family find a permanent place to stay as the shelter closes. But he also says many others are not in the same position.
I mean, most people are probably going to be out on the streets.
Bangor police say for those who do end up back on the street, this summer they will be enforcing the city's long-standing ordinance prohibiting camping on city property.
Setting up a structure, a tent, having shopping carts with a tarp dragged over it to basically create some sort of makeshift structure, that would be considered camping by that ordinance.
On Wednesday, however, a number of structures were seen outside the library. Police also emphasized their goal is not to arrest their way out of homelessness, but to work alongside community partners to address the root causes.
Making contact with individuals experiencing homelessness, getting them connected to area resources.
In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC7 News at noon, the U.S. naval blockade in the Strait of Hormuz has led to some tense standoffs. We've got details when we return.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stair Lifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stair Lift, the world's leader in stair lifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stair Lifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stair Lift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stair Lift has a padded seat and backrest. Safety sensors stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stair Lift folds away. It even runs during power outages.
I was really surprised at how little it cost.
Call 1-800-732-2971 right now for your free information kit or visit our website today. That's 1-800-732-2971.
With over 30 years of experience, Patriot General Contractors knows how to get your home renovation project done right. Our certified contractors can help you build, redesign, or finish the project of your dreams. Check out Facebook page for reviews and visit patriotgeneralcontractors.com to schedule your quote today. Patriot General Contractors, redesigning your properties for the future.
When I was 29, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I think part of research and advocating for more money for cancer research allows survivors to have more time. Senator Collins supports and advocates for more funding for cancer research so that people can have better treatments, they can have better outcomes, and therefore they can live better lives as cancer survivors. Thank you, Senator Collins. Continue fighting for our families.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
The Trump administration is ratcheting up the pressure on Iran to negotiate a deal to end the war. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is warning the Iranian regime the U.S. is locked and loaded, ready to strike when needed. At the same time, President Trump says leaders from Israel and Lebanon will talk for the first time in decades as they try to end the fighting there as well. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the latest.
The U.S. Navy putting the pressure on Iran, enforcing a tight blockade of all shipping in and out. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth saying the blockade is, quote, the polite way that this can go.
If Iran chooses poorly, then they will have a blockade and bombs dropping on infrastructure, power, and energy.
The goal of the blockade, to force Iran into making concessions in peace talks. So far, the Pentagon says 14 ships have turned around because of the blockade.
Captains of all these ships have made the wise decision not to move, transit, or run this blockade.
General Kane also announcing an expansion targeting Iran's shipping network anywhere in the world, indicating the focus will potentially be on targeting ships linked to Iran's so-called dark fleet of illicit oil transported to China.
Will actively pursue any Iranian-flagged vessel or any vessel attempting to provide material support to Iran.
But so far, Iran not backing down, threatening to retaliate by halting all trade in the region and calling the blockade a, quote, prelude to a violation of the ceasefire. Still, there is hope of a second round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. According to Iranian state TV, the head of Iran's negotiating team met with Pakistan's Army Chief General today, adding the general is expected to travel to the U.S. next. And on the other front of the war, President Trump saying the leaders of Israel and Lebanon will speak later today for the first time in 34 years. Those talks coming after weeks of strikes from both sides. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Health and Human Service Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. makes his case to defend his budget for the coming year. During hearings with lawmakers on Capitol Hill, Kennedy will discuss what he's accomplished over the course of this year and what his plans for the future of the department entail. Today's hearing started with the House Ways and Means Committee, a panel in which Kennedy has never appeared before. Kennedy spoke on budget plans to cut funding in some areas while expanding in others.
We can reverse the chronic disease, improve public health, and lower costs. I stand ready to work with this committee and Congress to seize this opportunity, implement and codify lasting generational reform in American health care. For our country, for our children, and for the healthy American people, together we can make America healthy again.
Kennedy is set to testify before the House Energy and Commerce Committee on Tuesday before his back-to-back hearings with the Senate Finance and Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committees on Wednesday. Pope Leo XIV sends a powerful message during his visit to the epicenter of a separatist conflict in Cameroon. The pontiff delivered a message of hope Thursday at St. Joseph's Cathedral in the western city of Bamenda. He blasted world leaders who spend billions of dollars on wars, warned tyrants who are allowing religion to enter conflicts. Leo presided over a peace meeting in the region where humanitarian groups called one of the world's most neglected crises.
The world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants, yet is held together by a multitude of supportive brothers and sisters. They are the descendants of Abraham, as numerous as the stars in the sky and the grains of sand on the seashore. Let us look into each other's eyes. We are this immense people. Peace is not something we must invent. It is something we must embrace by accepting our neighbor as our brother and as our sister.
The Pope is also set to celebrate a Mass for the people later Thursday before returning to the capital. Protesters gathered in downtown Bangor yesterday asking area residents to actively oppose a big increase in military spending. Members of the Maine Peace and Justice Center and Veterans for Peace say the Department of War is asking for a $1.5 trillion budget for 2027 while making cuts in human needs programs.
There's one thing, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. There's one thing everybody can get around is that money should be spent here, in this country. We got problems here in this country. And we don't need to be running around the world looking for other problems.
Toothaker says he spent 20 years in the Marine Corps, including a tour in Iraq and 2 in Afghanistan. He and others gathered to say the money spent fighting in the Middle East could be better spent on farmer assistance, NASA education, and other programs. After the break, students helped a local food pantry that's low on basic items. We'll be right back.
Find your flavor at Black Sheep Restaurant in Sullivan. Breakfast so good on Tuesdays, even the toast gets a standing ovation. Wednesday to Saturday, we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sundays, we brunch 9 to 1. Black Sheep Restaurant, where the food is bold and the sheep are only slightly judgmental.
Are your gutters weighed down by debris causing them to sag and overflow? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems. Clogged gutters lead to costly repairs for your home, so skip the cleaning and stop the clogs with Gutter Shutter. Gutter Shutter, the world's best gutter, is a high-performance gutter with a lifetime no-clog guarantee. Stop the clutter, get Gutter Shutter. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
I got hurt by a big truck. Why did I call the twos? Because life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money, and I'll fight to get it for you. We got a client who broke multiple bones in a commercial vehicle accident, $700,000. Another client had a brain injury, and we got them $1.15 million. If you get hurt by a big truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a big truck? Call the twos. We win for you.
Step into a story that's funny, touching, and deeply human. Winterport Open Stage presents The Dining Room by A.R. Gurney. This unique production blends a series of scenes into a heartfelt look at family and tradition. Performances run May 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th at 7 p.m., with matinees May 3rd and 10th at 3 p.m. at Samuel Wagner Middle School in Winterport. For tickets, visit winterportopenstage.net or find Winterport Open Stage on Facebook.
Find your flavor at Black Sheep Restaurant in Sullivan. Breakfast so good on Tuesdays, even the toast gets a standing ovation. Wednesday to Saturday, we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sundays, we brunch 9 to 1. Black Sheep Restaurant, where the food is bold and the sheep are only slightly judgmental.
A soldier's pet on the move.
So now the dog has been in 3 homes. Yours for a little bit, hers for a little bit, yours for a little bit, then hers.
Now a fight over the dog's next new home.
You found her wandering on a country road in our neighborhood. And according to the vet's report, the dog was in miserable condition. Instead of saying thank you to her, you take the police to her house.
Next, Judge Judy.
Thursday at 5 on ABC 7.
Here in the test kitchen, we found that the key to success when lightening up a dish is to make sure no one can tell the difference. That's why we're sharing a version of one of our favorite side dishes that's lighter, but still excites our taste buds. Trust me, no one will be able to tell. It comes from our diabetic-friendly website, everydaydiabeticrecipes.com. Let me show you how easy. We started by cooking some chunks of yellow squash. It takes just minutes. Once they're tender, we drain them. Next, we combine reduced fat cheddar cheese, some light mayo, egg substitute, and a bit of salt and pepper. Using lighter ingredients helps us cut out a lot of the fat. Now we add our squash, mix it with our sauce, and pour it into a baking dish. Then we sprinkle the top with a little cheddar before baking it off. Once it's heated through and all the cheese is melted, it's ready to serve. Just look at all that cheesy goodness. What a great way to cut the guilt, but not the taste. If you want to try the recipe for our golden squash casserole, and why wouldn't you? Go online now and check out the link to all sorts of recipes that are designed to help you eat better while satisfying your taste buds. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for a lighter way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Grocery prices have increased along with everything else, and local food pantries are struggling to help people with their basic needs. But the Neighbors Supporting Neighbors Community Pantry in Herman got some assistance yesterday. Local students have held fundraising events such as puppy yoga with puppies from Florida that are brought to Maine to be adopted. They collected money and donations of things like toilet paper and toothbrushes. They were at the United Technology Center in Bangor to give the pantry all of their donations.
Food is very expensive. And toiletries are even more expensive. So we don't normally have these kind of items to be able to add to our food boxes. So people are going to be very, very excited tomorrow.
It made me feel really amazing, really motivated. I really love the foster program that I'm in, but I felt like this really helped me get truly more involved with them and with the community.
Lackady says there has been a big increase in need. She says the Neighbors Supporting Neighbors Community Pantry is out of many of the basic food items they normally have to assist people. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
The circus is coming! The circus is coming!
Don't miss this exciting new show featuring unicycle juggling, dogs and hula hoops, the Flying Cortez Trapeze Spectacular, glow motorcycling, and more. The Anna Shrine Circus, April 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Bangor Cross Insurance Center.
Hi, Butch Robichaud from J&J Auto Salvage. Yep, been here 40 years, retiring this year. Turning the reins over to Anthony and the boys. Hope to serve you for another 40 years. The next time you're thinking about saving money on your car, give us a call. We got fenders, doors, motors, transmissions, you name it, whatever it is, we have it. We're down on the Brewer Lake Road. Everything we sell carries a 90-day warranty. And don't forget, best attitude in the business.
5 signs that text, email, or call is a scam. Number 1, you weren't expecting it. Number 2, it says there's a prize or a problem. Number 3, they want personal information. Number 4, they pressure you to act quickly. Number 5, they ask you to pay a specific way. There will always be scammers, but you don't have to be their victim. Brought to you by this station, the Maine Association of Broadcasters, and the Office of the Secretary of State.
The circus is coming! The circus is coming!
Don't miss this exciting new show featuring unicycle juggling, dogs and hula hoops, the Flying Cortez, Trapeze Spectacular, glow motorcycling, and more. The Anna Shrine Circus, April 24th, 25th, and 26th at the Bangor Cross Insurance Center.
Let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, Susan, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. So we've had some fog developing out there, mainly further off towards the north near the Caribou area to Millinocket, while in other spots it's been intermittently reduced, but we're getting this out of here slowly but surely throughout the early afternoon period. That dense fog advisory dropped earlier this morning, so we are now done with that. But meanwhile, wave heights are down, so we have no advisories along the coast. We're looking good there, but if you look further out towards sea, the wave height's a little bit on the active side at around 4 to 5 feet at this moment in time. Here's what we got. We've had some rain showers passing through earlier this morning, tracking from the west and going toward the east. We are going to be watching for some more rain showers and thunderstorms. There they are right there. As they track off towards the east, we'll notice some of that overnight. So as we check out futurecasts again, we'll have clouds, some intermittent rain showers possible. Here's some more showers and thunderstorms overnight, and even as we head towards early Friday morning. Here's the thing, we'll have clouds to start Friday. Look at this, the clouds break up as we head towards the afternoon and staying clear as we head towards Friday night. So by your Saturday, we'll have some more clouds, maybe some fog too, as we head towards Saturday morning. As for additional rainfall, and this is up until Saturday morning, around 1/4 of an inch possible, locally higher amounts possible as we head up towards the northern parts of the state. And we could use the rainfall too, still some areas of moderate to severe drought. So again, rainfall definitely a blessing for us at this point. But your forecast for today, still some rain showers, dry stretches too, mostly cloudy, lower 60s for the high, south wind at about 5 miles per hour. Overnight showers and thunderstorms likely with lows in the mid-40s. Areas of dense fog too, with the wind overall looking nice and calm. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy with highs in the mid-60s and that north wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Mostly cloudy for your Saturday with highs in the low 60s, and then rain likely for your Sunday with highs in the low 50s, then low 40s for your Monday under a partly cloudy sky.
Thank you, Devin. A special event at the Berlin Zoo helps people living with dementia interact with their surroundings. Accompanied by families and caregivers, participants view hippo, rhino, and elephant habitats. The tours, arranged by a Christian aid organization, are free of loud distractions to help participants feel more comfortable. The event is also designed to help those with dementia feel more included in society. According to the Office of National Dementia Strategy, Germany's dementia population is around 1.6 million and is expected to increase to 2.8 million by 2050. The program also has tours of the Museum of Natural History and the Musical Instrument Museum, with plans to further expand to other locations. And the plant known as the corpse flower blooms in Massachusetts. The plant reached full bloom Tuesday at the Botanic Garden of Mount Holyoke College. Garden director Tom Clark and a few other staff members were first to smell the flower Tuesday morning. The corpse flower reaches full bloom every 3 to 4 years. It is, in fact, not one flower, but many tiny ones at the base of a tall central column. Maine is known for its lobster, beauty, and wildlife, but you can spend all your life in Maine and still never get to see a moose. But you can fix that with a trip to the Maine Wildlife Park in Gray, and it's now officially open for the season. Unlike a zoo, the park is a wildlife education center that's run by the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife. The residents range from black bears to turtles and eagles to Canada lynx. They are there because they were injured or orphaned and because they were human dependent due to being raised in captivity. The park is a permanent home for the wildlife that cannot survive in the wild. It will be open until mid-November. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
Whether you're hurt by a landscaping truck like this, a work van like this, or any commercial vehicle, we know how to get you the big money you may deserve.
Hurt by a commercial vehicle? Call the twos. We win for you.
The winning continues as our contestants are springing forward all April long. Terry's back for night 2. Great to have your energy back, Terry. Our winning contestant tonight will return for more big money and fabulous prizes.
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
So glad you're with us on Conquering Retirement. Brad Johansson along with Lance Gilman, Blake King, Northern Alliance Financial. It is always good to be back with you guys. We good?
Doing great.
Excellent. It's a day in